Charisma here from Charisma Cares, and she is going to be telling us all about her journey with her special needs son and how they're able to do some globetrotting. Her and I have some plans to connect in South Africa, which I'm excited about. So if you don't mind going ahead and get the party started for us, Charisma, tell us who you are. Before we talk about your identity as a parent, tell us who you are first and foremost.
Okay, so I'm Charisma. I'm originally from, I was brought up in Atlanta. So I by trade am a nurse practitioner. I have two kids. I have a 19-year-old. She stays in the States in Atlanta. And then I have a 10-year-old with special needs. I'm one of those people, I kind of do a little bit of everything. So in addition to, I'm a nurse practitioner. I do real estate investing. I do coaching. A little here, a little there.
You know what? Don't run yourself ragged now. You sound like you got a lot going on. We want to live a life of ease, okay?
Right.
But I love that you are multi-hyphenate. That is certainly something that we're all embracing now. We find that our interests are things that we can monetize and leverage. So why not? So tell me a little bit about your journey with your son, his diagnosis, and just kind of how you wrap your mind around the work you're doing specifically with your son.
So basically my journey, when my daughter was in 9th grade, I told everyone, when she graduated, we were out of here. We were leaving the States and we were going to travel the world. And nobody really believed me. But, the reasoning is because a couple of years prior to that, my son had got diagnosed with this disorder, very rare genetic disorder, KIF1A. And at the time, there were about
for those who are just popping in. Okay, I'm sorry, you went out for a second. Go ahead.
So there were about 200 people in the world with this diagnosis when we got diagnosed, and now there's about 400 people in the world with this diagnosis. And they basically told me it was progressive. It gets worse as it goes on. Initially, we thought he had cerebral palsy, which, if you know about, for those that aren't familiar with cerebral palsy is kind of what you see is what you get. It doesn't get worse. But with KIF1A, what we saw was that a lot of the teenagers could no longer walk or talk or do different things like that. So I had decided once my daughter graduated high school and she got into college, me and my son would go travel the world, because if you're telling me he's going to get worse as he gets older, then we need to take advantage of the time that we have now. Like, I don't have time to wait for him to go through each grade in school and then go to college and then get a job. I need to focus on the time that I have now. So my puzzle piece that was missing during COVID, when COVID hit and we went to virtual school got a little iffy. And then, it was like, I was like, what is going on? When we hit virtual school, we realized what teachers were doing and what teachers weren't doing.
Okay.
All the gaps were filled in, and I was like, oh, that's how that works. So I started teaching him, and I realized that I can actually do this. I can actually teach my son. And that was the missing puzzle piece for me. So I was able to sit down, teach him. So at this point, my daughter was like 11th, 12th grade when COVID hit. So she was on her way out, and I was making a plan.
I'm thanking everyone for their hearts, but I love what you're saying. Like, as a parent, you are the first teacher, and you really embraced that. And you took on that role full steam ahead. And I love that for your son, especially because I know that he is getting a very rich and deeply intentional lesson with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm a homeschool mom, I'm a crunchy mom, no ma'am. No, I was none of that. I was none of that at
Are you into the
all.
gentle parenting? Is that your thing too?
I don't even know what gentle parenting is, so I have to say that's probably not. I was not that person. I would send my kid to school, pick my kid up, and let's do our homework. So I didn't, that wasn't
Mm-mm.
me. But once he was home and they were giving us worksheets, and I realized we needed to do more, I was like, okay, this isn't working. And
Mhm.
then I put him in a virtual charter school in Georgia. He was in school from like 8 a.m. to 3:30. By the time the last social studies came,
Oh,
I fell asleep. I took a nap. I said, well, if I
you was
can't
burnt out.
if I can't stay up in front of this computer, how can I expect him to?
Yeah.
So,
Shalapi, one of my friends from Nigeria, said that COVID has helped us to realize what teachers were teaching and what they were not teaching. So I will second that, Shalapi. I think that our education system was put to a extreme test, and we were able to look at it within like a third eye almost to see that there were a lot of practices that were not being practiced that should have been practiced. And to kind of echo what you were saying, Charisma, did you say 8 to 3 or 9 to 3? That is
8 to
extraordinary.
3:30.
That's extraordinary. Like, was he getting recess? I have so many questions. That's a
No,
lot.
they would have gaps where you would take a break, but everything was online. So
Oh,
all of your art, your PE, all of that was online. And PE recess per se was like once or twice a week.
okay.
Hold on, I'm going to have to pause you. My son is
PE
having a
being
little moment.
twice a week.
Give me
Man.
a minute.
Okay, it's okay. So for those who are just joining us, I have Charisma with Charisma Cares here, and she's telling us all about her son who has a disorder that only 400 other people have in the world. And so what she decided to do is take a leap of faith and just say, hey, if this disorder is going to become progressive, or if it has been deemed as progressive, then we're going to travel. So currently, she is in the Dominican Republic. Before that, it was Panama and Costa Rica. And I'm trying to get her to the continent. And so hopefully she'll be able to visit with me are we looking at the winter, or we're thinking next year? What are we thinking?
No, I'm leaving in November. I'm going to Egypt in November.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna document everything on my YouTube channel. The whole the whole process of getting
Okay.
ready and heading over to Africa for however long I happen to be there. Now you are there for years.
Africa is home. I gotta, like, I'm not gonna do too much in this live because it's not about me. But I would just say to those who are tuning in, make sure you are checking out my stories and that you are really being aware and engaged on my
Yeah.
profile, because I'll have some exciting news popping up shortly. But for those popping in, make sure you share with a friend. I have Charisma here with Charisma Cares, and she's telling us all about how she travels with her son who has special needs, and how she decided to just, take a leap of faith. She has his wheelchair that she travels with. Does he have any like braces that you travel with as well?
Yeah, so he wears braces. He uses crutches to walk or to ambulate.
Okay.
He does have like some mild autism. He has a little bit of everything, a little bit of ADHD. So it's a lot of little things
Okay. So,
that I manage.
okay. Yeah, and you know what? You look like you're managing pretty well to me. So, I don't know the background story, but you got a smile on your face, and that's all I can really tell that you are over there thriving. Okay.
You know, it depends on the day. When you're a special needs parent, some days you look better than others. No,
It is not it's not a straight line. It has,
no.
some hills and valleys in that line. So thank you all for joining us. If you're just hopping in, I am chatting with Charisma, and she's telling me about her travels with her son who has special needs. Now I kind of want to pivot a bit more because I know that you have a business, and I want to preface this by saying that when we are traveling and we are living our best lives, it is helpful to have an income coming in that's substantial and that can help us achieve those specific things that we have, whether we have special needs children or a special needs child, or whether we are that neurodivergent person that is traveling. So tell us about what you are doing to make your ends meet while you're in all of these cool countries and you're with your son. I even recall conversing with you, and you told me that your son is still getting, is it physical therapy while you all are in different countries?
Yeah, so it depends on the need. So he still does his speech therapy and his OT. He does that online, and then he does his physical therapy. So I noticed when he was getting kind of weak, what I did was I found a physical therapy locally, and I took him to that physical therapist, and it was about $7 a visit, not $7 for my copay. It was $7
All together.
a visit. So that's what I did. So we did about a month and a half. We went 3 times a week because for him, virtual physical therapy really isn't helpful for us. We did that during COVID, and that just really didn't help us.
Okay.
So what we will do is we do, if he needs it, I take him speech and OT. Like I said, I do online, but a lot of what we do for OT, we do every day.
Mhm.
It's tying your shoes, putting on your bracelets. Since we've been gone, I've really taught him how to be a bit more self-independent because when I was in the States, I had a CNA. Like when I'm not in the States, it's just me. I have
Okay.
to hire a nanny or something of that nature. So that's how I go about caring for his different needs.
Okay. I love
Um,
that. So tell us how you are financing these things. Is it through your work as a nurse, or do you have some other means of income that is helping to supplement all of the travel, the accommodations, the healthcare expenses?
So for me, I only do part-time. I'm a nurse practitioner. I work in psychiatric care, and I
Okay.
only do part-time. So I do about 2, sometimes 3 days a week. But I'm not doing
Hmm.
full-time. So when I left, my income was cut significantly, at least half. So, I have a YouTube channel that I do that people follow me on as we go through these different countries and all of these different things that we do. But for me, my bread and butter is really real estate investing.
Okay.
I have a
Talk
number
about
of
it.
investments. Um, so I have a primary residence, a single family residence in Metro Atlanta. I have some investments in Alabama. I have two that I invest in with other investors. And then I have another investment in Metro Atlanta that is actually a business that I invested in. And, I'm looking at some other ones in Texas and just really passive income for me, basically mailbox money, money that you get that you don't have to work for because I'm really trying to live my best life. I'm trying to have my son live his best life. My daughter's
Hmm.
doing her thing. So I'm not really trying to be out here working 5 days a week. And honestly, if I'm like any other special needs parent, sometimes 5 days a week is not doable.
Hmm.
When even when I was living in the States, you got to deal with therapies, they get sick, all of these
Ooh,
different things happen. So you need some passive income.
who created this 5-day work week? Like we need to talk. because it's
I
not
don't know.
cutting it for those of us, especially those of us who have special needs children. This 5 day work
Right.
week is insane. And so they still have to come home and do these things. So I love what you are proposing as a means of passive income. So could you elaborate on mailbox money? Tell us what the expectations are from this passive income that you are, conversing with us about. Yeah,
You
capitalism.
know,
Whoever said that, that's right.
right. It really just depends. It does not take as much money to live outside of the states that it does to live inside the states. You know, when I lived in the states, my mortgage was like $1,600 a month. That wasn't including Netflix, Hulu, Disney,
They got chokehold
electricity.
on us.
Right, water, cell phone, it didn't include all of that. So now my budget for my housing allowance is $1,500 a month. I don't always go to 15. Right now I'm staying in Punta Cana and I'm paying less than $800 a month.
Mhm.
However, that also includes my water, that includes the TV. The only thing I pay here is electricity.
Okay.
And then for my phone, I don't even carry an American number. I think I pay what, $3 every 5 days.
Mm.
So in 30 days, I'm not even paying a lot for my phone bill. So I was able to let that go. So as far as real estate, with mailbox money and with your real estate income, that can, when you have different things going, that, if you, let's say you had one single family home, and let's not use Atlanta because Atlanta is a booming market. I'm gonna be very honest. Let's use somewhere else. Let's say you were making $300 or $400 a month just from that one property, and that's just to have that property. That's not even, that's what you're making after you pay off everything else. So that money is just coming in. For me, I automate everything. I'm not a landlord. I tell people in heart, I am not a landlord. I am a real estate investor. So my tenants, they pay every month from their bank account to mine. They pay through an app. If they have anything go wrong, it is submitted into the app. If they have a work order, they have a question, everything goes through the app. I get an email and then I send out a message to whomever to take care of whatever. I make sure my properties are on par, so there's no real issues. I mean, my tenant has been there for 3 years, and she may have contacted me 4 or 5 times
Wow.
in years. So, it's about working smarter and not working harder.
I would agree. I would agree to that. So if someone wanted to learn more about you and they wanted to learn more about how they could make the mailbox money that you're making as they're building a lifestyle that they deem inclusive and suitable for their child, how can they get a hold of you?
So my YouTube is Charisma Cares Travels the World. So you can find me on the YouTube. And then I'm actually doing a real estate challenge for people that are interested in getting into real estate. This particular challenge, it starts actually next Monday. It's only $19.99 to get in this challenge. And basically,
All right, Charisma. It looks like you broke up or you are breaking up. Yeah, you're back now. I was just
okay.
going to reiterate to anyone who is just joining us. I have Charisma Cares here with me. Charisma is the mother of a disabled child. She travels the world and she has been conversing with us all about how she's able to make passive income while she's traveling the world with her son. So she is doing a challenge that takes place next week, next Monday, so a week from today. And she's going to tell us how we can learn more about this challenge that she's doing.
So what it is it's a 5-day challenge in real estate. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to assess the market. We're going to make sure you get your finances in order, and we're going to make sure that you're ready to buy your first property, to buy your first deal. So whether or not you're looking at real estate because you're buying your first home, or you're looking at real estate as an investment, because I'm going to tell you, your first home is an investment, whether you realize it or not. You stay in that house for 2 years, you can rent that out. Because I tell people 2 years are coming, whether or not, whether you do something about it or not.
Right.
So, I did this challenge. Well, I'm doing this challenge. It starts on Monday. I made it, I priced it very low at $19.99 because I want to make sure that it's affordable for everybody. But I feel like we all really need
The
to,
hardest.
especially special needs parents, we need income. We need mailbox money. We need passive income, because when you have those days that you can't go to work, or you have to call off, or you basically have to leave your job, or you're only getting short-term disability or whatever it may be, because I've been in all of those circumstances. You need to make sure you still have money coming in. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And on my YouTube, I'm actually taking you through a journey right now of me buying my next property. I'm looking for a multi-family property, because
Big
with
money.
the yeah, you can make that profit. Instead of 400 from one house, you can make 400 per door. So if it's
Okay.
four doors, if it's a quad, then I can make 400 from all four doors.
Come
So
on.
that's what I'm looking at.
That sounds,
Hmm.
if my math is mathing right, that's about 1,600. So hey,
Hmm.
that's a win.
From,
And again,
from one property.
yes, again, I am with Charisma Cares. She travels all around the world with her disabled son, and she is telling us all about how we can make mailbox money so that if we have aspirations to travel and we may feel are burdened because of our circumstances or the circumstances of our children, that is something we can just throw right out the window. We can just remove that barrier altogether, because charisma is a living, breathing example of someone who is thriving in a different country, and she is moving all about. She's going to Egypt very soon. Currently, she's in the Dominican Republic. And prior to that, she was in Costa Rica. She was in Panama. And I know I'm talking for you because you could definitely tell us this. But
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
hyping you up. I'm your hype man, okay? Or your hype girl.
right. Well, you're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. So give us some parting words. I don't want to hold the people too long. It's after work. Folks might want to unwind. What are some things? Give us two things people need to consider when they are traveling with their special needs child, and then tell us. I guess give us one way in which we can reach out to you specifically. Like, how can, if I get off of this live and I want to be talking to you in the next 10 minutes, what do I need to do? Is that YouTube? Is that going to be Instagram? So that's your task. Two things parents need to know, and then how we can get a hold of you.
So the first one you want to know when traveling with your special needs child is make sure you have all your legal stuff in place. For my son, I have a special needs trust. I have a will. I have all of that paperwork in place if something was to happen to me while I travel abroad, because I mean, something can happen to you at home. You can step out tomorrow, something can happen. So you want to make sure
True.
you have paperwork in place, and you want to make sure that somebody knows where it is. The next thing is, I would say, just to be flexible. Things happen when you're out and about. So, you don't have to live such a rigid life. You don't have to live in rigidity when you're at home, but you definitely don't have to live that when you're out and about. Things are going to change. They're going to happen. You can do homeschooling, world schooling, I mean, you're going to learn things. It's just a totally different world once you leave out of the comfort of your own home in your own state. As far as getting in touch with me, we're on Instagram. So the easiest way would be for you to reach out to me on Instagram. Like I said, I do have a YouTube, and my YouTube is Charisma Cares Travels the World, where I show you how I travel with my son, and we have fun, and we do it on a budget. If you want to do the real estate challenge, I posted that link there. But if you need it again, you can reach out to me on my Instagram. You can reach out to me on my YouTube. You can email me. All of that, I believe, is listed on my Instagram as well. And then I'm also on Facebook, Charisma Cares. So pretty much Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and email.
All right, thank you. So for those just hopping in, Charisma gave us all of the gems around how we could potentially travel across the globe with our special needs children. And she mentioned how she is able to make these type of investments within her travels because she has some property. And she is going to be able to tell you all about how you can look at achieving these same feats. Basically, you are going to want to hop into her DMs and let her know, hey, I'm interested. Tell me a little bit more. She can be found obviously here on IG, or you can hop on over to YouTube where I am and Charisma is, and you can let us know a little bit more about your interests, and we can kind of walk you through if I have to refer you to her or however you want that to happen. So any last closing words, Charisma?
Pura Vida. I picked that up in Costa Rica. Live your best life, live a free life, and live a happy life.
Yes. And I'm going to end with Italian phrase, dolce vita, which means I think that means the art of doing nothing. Something like that.
Yes, I love that.
Look it up. All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you here. Your exchange was invaluable. And I'm hoping that some of the parents who are listening or who were able to hop in, that they'll take you up on your challenge.
All right. Well, I hope to see you all so we can start making some money.
Hey, hey, hey. All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.